Welcome to London's Craziest Gangster with me, Mr. Fish. Alright? Keeping the dead man's Bible. All the rules of society are thrown, tossed and washed away. Whose motto is, if angels die, if angels fly and devils die, how come I'm still alive? Bang! What I've been missing, you know the rules. You know, normally in my game, we never come out in the summer. We never work in the summer. It's the rules. In the summer when you work, you're contending with the open windows, you're contending with the people behind you, you're contending with the DNA, ground, whatever happens. So therefore, we never really do anything in the summer. It always makes me laugh with life. Whenever people ever get fed up, they always sound fed up with life. But they're not fed up with life, they're fed up with people. People are the maddest, craziest, mentalist thing you'll ever see on the earth. Different faces, different hair, different clothes, different cars, different houses, people. And yet when anything goes mad or wrong, we always blame people we always blame life instead of people. Today I touched on a topic earlier on the phone and I typical with this technology, I ain't got a clue. And I was talking about kids today, or anybody who's being chased by a knife crop. And what I was highlighting is, when the sun comes up, all the loons come out, and the drink, the drugs, whether it's ultimately or just the loons, but they come out, don't they, and they're on the street. And so I was talking to two kids today, and they were saying that, you know, if they see groups, then they always turn back and go a different way. And sometimes they said, oh, if it's a shop, they run into a shop. Well, I asked them, what would you do if there's no shops? And they said they didn't know. And so I'm telling you now what to do if there's no shops. So the first thing, if you're being chased with a knife and it's danger, and you're on a street where there's no shops, then you have to smash a house window, a car window, run over a car, run jump on it. Anything that causes the public to ring the police. You have to shout fire. Fire, fire. Fire attracts people quicker than saying help, help, help. And with fire, people are quick to respond, they're quick to look, and then they will hopefully get you the help. You need to be aware of what's around you on the street. This is why I say to parents, you mustn't keep your kids indoors. They have to become street men. They have to learn how to avoid those situations. And they're not going to do it on computer games, stuck indoors at home. Okay? So one of the most important things as well is you have to understand respect. Okay? Respect the big one, because respect for most people now is in the clothes you wear, or the jewelry you've got, or what you own, materialistic things you own, which they think measures well, measures respect. It doesn't. Respect means treating everybody as you wish to be treated yourself. Okay? That's the main thing about respect. Respect is carrying yourself and moving yourself and treating people like you would expect to be treated yourself. Okay? It's very important to know that parents, we need to understand that the kids are actually scared, and they might not admit it to us, because I've always noticed with kids, especially when you're going to schools and you give the talk, no one ever listens to them. I think it's important that we need to listen to them in order to try and get this problem resolved. And so I'm speaking to two today. They came clear to me that apart from running into shops, they didn't know what else to do. And that is why I'm saying, number one is you scream and shout fire as it's happening, okay? You make people aware. You smash a car, but you have to look for houses with windows open, washing on the line and windows open, places where you know that people might be in, and you do something silly there, and they're going to ring the police straight away, because that's what this is about. This is about getting the police to you. This is about going home alive or not going home at all. This is about dying on the street. Secondly, you have to be fit. Yeah, I've been stabbed twice now, funny enough. just along up here during the carnival, we had a situation, and in that situation, what happened was we saw one young lady getting robbed, and when she was getting robbed, one of my friends went and jumped in. They tried to grab her gold chain. As she jumped in.
Is that London's craziest gangster?
It is indeed. What's going on?
Welcome, my brother.
How are you?
What do you say?
I love a fag. Come and say hello to the podcast. What's your name? What's your name?
My name's anything
Go on then.
apart from my name.
Apart from his name. I like true people on the street. True people on the street.
You know my brethren. Yeah. Stop recording.
Yeah, go on, no, we can't because we're
Are you
moving the
fine?
podcast. Go on, no, hit me.
Sam.
Come on, mate.
You know Sam
Yeah,
from
come on,
Ealing?
mate. Yeah.
That's my brother.
How are you?
I'm
Like?
all good, man.
Yeah.
Man, I couldn't help but come and say
No,
one though.
mate,
Bless
say-
man them.
say-
Sweet, brother.
Bless man them. Yeah, take care. So there you go. Known all over the game, fans everywhere, gangsters. But Crash How's Your Father? Yeah, we saw a woman getting robbed once, and so my mate went to her aid. And as he did so, I had to follow him because that's the rules of the game. And as I followed him, Crash How's Your Father? What happened was, as I followed him, Crash How's Your Father? What happened was, one of the guys pulled a knife, and I remember as I was going towards him, he stabbed me in the arm. And so I carried on fighting, because that's what you have to do when you have someone with a knife. You carry on fighting as quick as you can, whilst trying to find the best moment that you can get away. So Crash How's Your Father? What happened was, I ran down the road up there and Crash, I had a look at the wound. When I realised I could handle the wound and the damage, I picked up a bottle to go back to do it. And as I picked up the bottle, you know that I've got big carnival, you see the police. And the police, one of them stopped me and said, "Where you going with that nigger?" So because there was claret bleeding out the arm, blood in it, I couldn't really do anything, but they escorted me up to the ambulance. When they escorted me to the ambulance, I got in the ambulance and I received the medication, medical help I needed. But as soon as I got out of the ambulance, I saw him and I crashed him. And I said, "Right, call me a nigger now. Call me a nigger now." But you gotta remember, a 2.5 million black people with the carnival. So I'm going, "Call me a nigger now." And he's going, "Never call you a nigger. I never call you a nigger. I never call you a nigger." Yeah. I had to laugh because when people ask me, "Oh, what have you done with black people?" Mate, I have had battles with prison, battles. And it's not just about colour, it's for all people to be the system. And so anyway, I had to fight with him. And then they tried to nick me. But what happened was they let me go because I explained about the stabbing and everything. They said, "Oh, well done." And they reprimanded the officer. And I said, "Look, mate, you shouldn't be going to do it, especially in the middle of an effing carnival." Do you know what I mean? So, Crash How's Your Father? So I understand the fears that kids have. And we have to remember, with kids now, it's kind of, they're in a no man's land. And I spoke to these two kids today, and one of them, they're only young, and one of them said to me, I said, "Well, does it, if your parents can't protect you, the schools can't protect you, the police can't protect you, you then have to take yourself and carry a knife." And God bless these kids. I said, "Look, if you carry a knife, then you're going to get involved in all the rest of the gang shit. Then you're putting yourself on the same level as them." And it was quite a strange answer because I thought that people have to really protect themselves. I thought kids would try, but obviously, it's like they're stuck in a no man's land, and I feel sorry for them in that respect, because where do you get your safety from? I've been here now for 10 minutes, and this is we're in a major area. We're in a major area, and when you look down the road that way, and then you come round, keep coming, and then you look that way. So we've been on a major high street, Portobello Road and Lapworth Grove, and we haven't seen one police officer. So if you haven't seen one police officer in a high street, what chance do you have in a back street? That's the problem. What chance of survival do you have in a park? And so what I'm telling you is, the only reason that's kept me safe is you had to go to a gym, okay? You need to go to a gym which will keep you fit and will give you confidence, because that's another problem with what happens when people get attacked. The attackers can always see the weakness. They might not see you having the confidence that they feel you should have in order to stand up for yourself. And so, with that being said, the gym gives you confidence. And the gym isn't just going out. I see a couple of my kids the other day. They're getting well built and they're strong. And the gym's not about, the gym is about making yourself confident. It's also dealing with life's issues, learning how to deal with stress. But most importantly, it keeps you fit. It keeps you strong.
One second. A man wants to say hello to you.
I've got a man.
A man wants to say hello to you.
Sam, we're in the middle of a podcast. How are you? Crash, how's your father? How you been? Go keep talking. Yeah. Right. Listen.
You know who that is?
Yeah. So yeah. Listen, I've got to come back to you. I'm in the middle of a podcast. Let me bring you back.
You're trying to say what going in it?
Yeah, love it. So Crash, how's your father? Yeah. Crash, how's your father? Going to a gym. I always say you must hurt yourself in the gym. Mentally destroy yourself, physically wreck yourself, and socially hurt yourself in the gym. So others can't hurt you in the street. And that's very important. Yeah? I've been stabbed here, I've got half an ear there from street fighting. And it's very important that you are fit enough to take on the injuries that have been caused to you by knife crime. You see, the next issue we have here is if you are attacked with a knife and you get stabbed, you do nothing when you're attacked. Your adrenaline, your body, your survival skills, you won't
What
last.
you saw that card about your survival skills.
I know. But,
Nice jacket, by the way.
thank you very much.
You look pucker.
Yeah, there you go. Everyone's saying it. Thank you very much. But can you see, yeah, Crash out of your father. You have to make sure that you cannot just stand there and let a guy stab you. There's no point doing that just because there's a group. You've got a survival instincts have got to kick in. You've got to just push and run. Yeah, you've got to be able to hit. You can't stand there and just let a guy stab you and hurt you. If he sees you've got no confidence, then you're in more danger. And your body will not kick in and will not provide you with the survival adrenaline to make it to hospital or to make it home. So you have to 100% get fit, okay? You're getting fit also, sometimes you can't always fight. So sometimes you may have to run. And, you know, to run, you have to be fit, so it's not always about getting fit. And there are different types of crime. Now, I remember one time it's called the gin street. But in the old days, across the road, it used to be called the Colville. And me and one of my friends, we were here one day. And I lived with my friend, he's a straight mate called here. And we were like twins, black and white, gay and straight. And I lived with him. And one day he said to me, he was going to take me out on my 30th birthday. 30th birthday being a milestone. We would have a celebration. But when I woke up, I got a call. I saw a message on the phone. Where are you? And your mate. We're outside the Colville. So I nudged him. I said, listen, mate, what's happening? I've got a message. He's going, what? You got a message? Wake up. So he said, oh, some guy was offering him an 8 for puff. He kept annoying him. So he pulled out an ounce of puff. The guy didn't like it and then wanted to fight. So Crash, how's your father? What happened was, I've come down to the Colville, sorry. As I've come down, you bring out the sun, young lady, trust me. So as I've come down, there's about 14 black guys all standing at the Colville. So they said, where's your mate? I said, well, my mate said, well, what's up, Jimmy? Well, tell your mate he's going to get pretty well chopped up and cut up. I said, well, chopped and cut up for what? They said, don't worry. Yeah, your mate killed my brother yesterday, so I'll tell you what. call your brother, and then let's meet and sort it out. He goes, nah, forget that. Let's do what we got to do. So I said, all right, mate. I said, look, we don't really want to go there because we're pretty well told up. I said, we don't give a fuck what you are. Yeah, it's on. So I went back, told the boys, me, my boys, Stokesy, Aaron, we got the shotgun each, and we came back. And as we came back, we jumped out the car. They was all there. Yeah. We jumped out the car. It was all there, gathered all there. So we pulled the gun. Now, as we pulled the guns now, they go, whoa, 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 put the guns away, put the guns away. But now at this time, there's about 30 of them, you know? They've all got machetes. I said, mate, put the guns away. You're all tooled up to the nines. I said, how can we put the fucking guns away, you know? I said, come on, mate. So anyway, the guy that troubled my mate and attempted to give my mate the weed, Crash House, your father, he's there. So I've now said to this guy, whose brother he was my mate, I said, oh, your brother now he's here, ask him what happened. Yeah? So he said, well, yeah, and then the truth came out. Yeah, I offered him an 8 for puff. He pulled out an Oz, and then I went and attacked him. So I've got the right now. So I said to my pal, who was his brother, I said, mate, you need to give him a clump. Because I tell you what, if that was my brother, and my brother, look, he nearly got one of us killed today. So not only one of us killed, he almost got one of us 15, 20, 30 years. You've got to understand what's going on here. So you need to give him a slap, because you can't be doing that. See what I mean? I tell my brothers, listen, you call something on and get turned over. Don't call me. That's your problem. But if it's the other way around, then I'm prepared to back it. So anyway, we got the gun, and you're not going to believe this, I'm laughing. I've just shown you 2 pictures of the high street. I've just shown you, yeah. There's no old bill. So now, as I've got the gun now, one of them called my mate, Mr. Stokes, a puff. So Mr. Stokes took off the safety and tried to fire the gun. So I've had to grab that shotgun off him. So I'm now in the middle of Portobello Road, yeah. Right? 2 shotguns looking like the OK Corral, yeah. And guess what's now coming down the road? Old Bill. I'm like, nah. So now I've had to run. I've had to run down here, yeah, up the high street. I've got 2 guns. I've got 2 guns in the hand. I'm running down the road like that. They're both hot shotguns. I've had to put them in the motor, and we've just managed to scrape past and get away. So the streets are mad. They're crazy things. And this is why I hate coming out in the summer. I like to hibernate. Because when you've been a doorman for so long, security, and I've been security and one of the maddest places I was security was in the basement in Shepherd's Green. And the problem with that club, the problem with that was every time you done a door, everyone was a face. Everyone was a face. And the travellers were down there, they were all fighters. So you had to do this door with a little bit of decorum and a little bit of respect, because you had to know that if it did kick off and once the fight did go on, you had to know that we had the other people to back you up. And I've got to be honest, one of the best fights I ever seen.
Don't say fish.
Yeah, respect. One of the best fights I've ever seen was in the basement. Was the Northern Irish versus the Southern Irish. Mate, you are never ever gonna see anything. It was mad. And they're all getting glass in their face, all getting stuff. They didn't care. You know? It was like back in Ireland, and the issues were there, and they were fighting to the death. It was mad. That was the most craziest fight of all the fights and all the doors that I've ever seen. It was absolutely crazy. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I hate coming out in the summer, and I don't drink, and I don't take drugs out. How are you, sir? Respect? Yeah, you? And respect. And that's why I don't take, because you just don't know what's going to happen now. They look like they're a happy drinker, and next minute you've got glass in your face. Next minute they're happy, next minute you've got a knife in the back. Just all mayhem has gone mad simply because of the sun. And that's why I hate going everywhere in the sun. I love it if you're going to a rave, a peaceful rave, you've got the ears, just gibbity rip, and everyone's happy. That's a different rave. But when you come round, yeah, when you come round and you get groups of guys, groups of gangs, and you know, you never ever know. They're drinking, they're puffing, they're tripping. You never know what's going to happen, and so it's always scary and stuff. You know, you have to be more more vigilant than you would otherwise. You know, and then at the same time you have to go out and make sure you don't get too drunk or get too out your nut. So when something does go, when it does kick off, you know that you can't do anything about it. So it's a scary thing. You know, violence on the streets is always here. And you've got to always expect, as I said last time, no matter what you do to someone, you have to know it can be done to you. So don't ever think you can go out and hold a gun to a man or a knife to a man, do that to them and their family, and then when he's going to do it back to you, or start crying. No, don't work like that. Yeah, it works this way. Whatever you do to someone, know that he can do it back to you. Okay? Understand. Kids, understand. When you do something stupid in order to escape the street to get home with your life, your parents, the police, and the people that you've had to disturb to do whatever you had to do, so you had to smash something, they will understand why you had to smash that window. They will understand why you will smash that window. Okay? Because at the end of the day, yeah, they will know that you're trying to get home with your life. They will know that. When we had to pull the guns out on no gun, we weren't because we're gangster villains. It was simply because we had to go home with our lives. If it meant taking yours in order to go home with ours, then so be it. It's not something that we condone, glamorise it, but that is what the situation was that we found ourselves in. You know? And so the streets, man, it's crazy. When you're out on here, you just never ever know what's going to happen. You never ever know whether you're going to come home. It's the most frightening, how can I explain it? It's something that you love, you know? And I think that's when it becomes dangerous. When you love the fear, when you love the pain, when pain and fear become your friend, the dark.